What's up guys, this is Lesky, and for this video I'm going to be showing y'all my updated game and controller settings for FC24. The first video I made over FC24 was a settings video, but since then some settings have changed, so I want to show y'all what I am currently rocking. And before we start on the in-game settings, I want to show you guys what I am using when it comes to my Elite controller and having paddles on my controller. If you have a controller with paddles, then I'd highly suggest trying this out, like what I'm doing. So I only use two paddles on my controller, and that is one on the left, one on the right, and they are mapped to LB and RB. And you use the bumpers a ton in FIFA when it comes to dribbles, passes, shots, defending, a lot of different stuff that I can't even name right now. So it's very helpful. And then it also is just nice because you're always going to have a finger on those bumpers. So when you need to press it, that little fraction of a second can make a huge difference instead of having to switch like your pointer finger from your triggers to your bumpers. I like it a lot. So LB and RB are mapped for the paddles. And let me show you guys, if you have an Elite controller, you can get on this Xbox accessories app and change some of this stuff. My left stick is on aggressive, and then the curve adjustment is all the way to the left. The same thing for the right stick. And then the triggers, I like having the left trigger down to 20. Usually it's all the way up at 100, but lowering it means you don't have to hold the left trigger down as far for the button to activate. This makes it easier for me to do really any action that requires holding down the left trigger, whether it be Trivela passes, shots, fancy passes, jockeying on defense, or shielding the ball when you are dribbling. It can help quite a bit. And in the right trigger, I don't have it all the way down to 20. It is set to 80, and that is because I like having the analog sprint setting on in the FC24 game settings. So what that does is it turns your right trigger into more of a gas pedal effect. The more you hold it down, the more you will start to pick up speed and start going the max pace. But if you hold it down just a little bit, you might be sprinting, kind of like a sprint jog type of thing, but you're not going your full sprint. So I like that just to control my pace in times in like tight situations when I'm dribbling on the ball. And I'm pretty sure this is all I needed to show you guys for these Elite controller and paddle settings. For vibration, I have that all the way turned off. I don't play with vibration on any game, and it really does just drain your battery, so I would recommend taking that off. So let's go to the game settings on FC24. Here's the settings menu, and what we're going to do is click on game settings, and this will take us to the gameplay settings, which will be most important. And the preset right here is competitive. And this doesn't matter too much. If you have it on custom, what this will do, this will only work for offline game modes. If you have it on custom and then get into an online game mode, it will automatically be set to competitive and turn this stuff off. So competitive is going to be pretty much on no matter what when you are in an online game mode. So auto shots, assisted headers will all be off. And then here is the first setting, shot assistance. I have it on precision. This is somewhat new this year because you actually can have a line that kind of shows where you are aiming when you take a shot, which that is a setting that I think is under visual or camera. But I really like precision, and I would suggest to anyone to try it out. I'm pretty sure all my teammates use precision shooting that I can think of, and it helps a lot just scoring goals that you might not think could be scored. It just adds more power and accuracy to your shots. The only downside is if you're used to having shooting on assisted, you will have to adjust to it. There might be certain situations where you take a shot, goes out to the corner flag or out for a throw-in or something crazy. But once you get used to it and really start just aiming at the goal at basically exactly where you want to shoot, precision will be huge, and I think you'll end up liking it a lot and start using it over assisted. You just have to get over that little hump to try and get adjusted to precision. Timed finishing I have on, but if you don't think you're going to green time any of your shots, then turn it off just so you don't accidentally red time your shots. And then what I like about precision, going back to this, it's almost like green timing your shots for you, because if you aim at the goal, it says your shots will be more accurate and faster. So it's almost green timing for you without you having to actually do the green time, which takes quite a bit of skill and practice and repetition. So I really think if you're using assisted, test out precision and at least give it a try. For passing, auto flare pass is going to be off because of the competitive settings. Through pass assistance, semi, and what I'm about to show y'all is a big difference from the original settings video. I have all of this stuff on semi. So basically every single pass I have on semi. I used to just rock through pass on semi, lob through pass on semi, and then I think it was cross on semi. But I would always just go for ground pass and lob pass on assisted. But I recently switched this the past few weeks, and I've liked it quite a bit. You really don't notice a big difference. The one thing I kind of notice is especially when doing A passes or just ground passes to a player's feet, you can kind of pick where that pass is going to go. For example, say you have the ball in the midfield and you want to ping a pass to your striker's foot. You have a little bit more control of where you want that pass to exactly go. Like if I want it on that striker's left foot, I can aim a little bit to the side of the player and it can go to their left foot, or I can aim a little bit to the other side and it can go to their right foot. So you just have a little bit more control when it comes to those type of passes. But overall, I don't think you will notice a huge difference. And then same thing with lob pass assistance. I have switched that to semi. But of course, you do not have to copy me with these. You can just put it on assisted like I used to always run. Pass receiver lock, you're going to want on late. The pass receiver is locked as late as possible around the same approximate time as when the ball is kicked. So what this allows you to do, say you want to pass it to your striker's foot again, but then you see that the CDM or center back is reading it and is about to cover it. If your guy hasn't made the pass yet, you could actually change the aim last second to another player, and it can make a big difference whether you lose the ball off of that pass or keep possession for your team. So I like that for a lot of situations. Precision pass sensitivity I have on normal. I've never even tried it on high. I feel like normal feels pretty good for me. But let me know in the comments if y'all have it on high and if y'all like it over the normal precision pass sensitivity. For defending, auto clearance is off already, defaulted because of competitive. Clearance assistance, you're going to want this on directional. This will just give you more control of when you are clearing the ball from your box. If you have it on classic, it just kind of clears it to wherever. The directional at least takes into account where you are aiming with your left stick. And then defending, this one is kind of up to you guys, but I have used advanced defending, which is new this year. It says advanced defending gives you the freedom to choose your tackle types. Press B to attempt a stand tackle and press A to attempt a shoulder challenge or a seal out. If you have seen my Bruiser Plus build for clubs, then you'll know that advanced defending is very helpful because you can utilize that Bruiser playstyle by just pressing the A button on Xbox or the X button on PlayStation. And you just have more control of when you are actually going to do a shoulder barge rather than just having them both as the same button and the game kind of just decides it for you. The pass block assistance is on. And then when it comes to switching, I've always had auto switching on manual. I know a lot of people have it like only on air balls or only on loose balls or something like that, but that is up to you guys. I just don't like the game switching players for me. So I have that on manual. Auto switching move assistance, you're going to want that on low if you do have one of these settings on. Right stick switching, classic, I prefer that. And then right stick switching reference, player relative, sensitivity 5. You can switch that if you like, that's preference. Next player switching is also on classic, like right stick switching. Player lock on, icon switching off, I do not use that. And then orbit dribbling, I don't really use it, but I have it on. I might need to test it out and give it more of a try in the future. When it comes to being a goalkeeper in pro clubs or career mode, from what I've heard, semi is the best rather than assisted or manual, but I'm not 100% sure on that. Let me know if y'all play goalkeeper, which one is best. And here's the last setting, which I was talking about when it comes to the right trigger on my Elite controller. I have analog sprint on, and this turns that right trigger to more of a gas pedal effect, but I know some people just have it off, and that is more of a preference setting. Looking at my camera settings, I have a lot of people in the comments that ask about this. I always use co-op, and then I go down to this custom camera settings and turn it to custom, and then I change the height to 5 and then the zoom all the way down to 0. Far side focus I keep on 10, which I think is a new setting this year. Ball tracking speed, I don't think that matters for this. I adjusted delay of the in-game camera which follows the ball. It does not apply to pro, dynamic, or maybe it does matter. I have that on 0. Penalty area zoom, you're gonna want that on 0 unless you like it when the camera zooms in once you get in the penalty box. I think it's very annoying, and I think that's also a new setting. And then pro camera zoom, speed, and swing, that only matters if you're using the pro camera setting. And then power shot zoom, I also have that off. For the rest of these settings, there's not too much to show. For the HUD, I've always had player name and indicator, and then player indicator on player name. This will not show the gamer tags over players' heads, but instead show the actual name of the player you're using, which I think is extremely helpful. Player indicator size, default, all this stuff you can look at. Play styles plus overhead indicators I have on, but I think a lot of people, especially if you play Ultimate Team and you have a lot of players with playstyle pluses, then you might want to turn it off because it could be annoying. But for pro clubs, having it on is helpful just to know what your teammate is using. Next, player switch indicator I have off. It messes me up when I'm trying to switch players, so I don't like that at all. And then hold to skip, you're probably going to want that off. It's going to be annoying to skip through all the cutscenes by holding the button down. Time score display, you're obviously going to want that on. Score clock drop down, choose whether or not you want drop down overlays to appear under the score. That should be on. I don't know why it's necessarily off. Precision pass visuals, this is going to be on. Enables or disables precision pass visuals. This affects both the precision aim and the receiver indicator. And then precision shot visuals, you're going to want this on. This will give you the little tiny line to show where you're aiming when you have the precision shooting setting on. So if you're going to try precision for the first time, make sure you have this on as well. Radar I've always had on 2D, but you could put it on 3D. User radar color, I don't mess with any of that stuff. Scrolling lineups I have off. Input overlay I put on just so I can see my controller at the top right. I feel like it's good for gameplay just so y'all can see what I'm doing on my controller. Hypermotion insight overlays, that's off. That's where it shows like a bunch of stats and stuff on the field, which can kind of be annoying and cover up some stuff that you want to see. It's cool, but at the same time, it gets kind of annoying, so I have that off. Player performance widget, this shows you your play styles and your rating at the top right of the screen, which will be good for pro clubs and career mode. So there you go, guys. That is my updated game and controller settings for FC24. Let me know in the comments what y'all think. Hit that like button on this video for me, and then don't forget to hit that subscribe button on my channel if you haven't already done so. As always, y'all have a great rest of y'all's day, and peace out.